Our chief guest of today, Honorable Justice V.V.Wanathan, Madras High Court Judge. Our guest of honor is Vandana Jain, co-founder Chancellor Securities Bank, Bangalore. Respected Vice Presidents, Mr. Dr.G.Viswanathan and Shekhar Viswanathan, Dr. Sandhya Reddy, our Vice Chancellor, Dr. Kanchana Bhaskaran, Pro-Vice Chancellor, Dr. Parsadi Malik, Registrar, Dr. Jayabharati, the Assistant Director of Student Welfare, Dr. Varalakshmi, other participants, professors, students, members of the press and media, and distinguished invitees, very good morning to you. Today is an important occasion. Not only we are celebrating Women's Day, but VIT is the only university in India out of 1,200 universities where you have both Vice Chancellor and Registrar as ladies. There is no other university. Whenever we celebrate Women's Day, I always think of my mother, who was responsible for many things in my life, along with the father. In anybody, a man is always depends on three ladies. One is mother, the second is wife, third is daughter. Of course, others are also there. Today, this is being celebrated all over the world. Often, women are called the weaker sex. Regarding that, once Gandhiji said, they may be weak in suffering, weak in striking, but very strong in suffering. That's what Gandhiji said about women. There was a survey on women's achievement in the world, which says that 66% of the work is done by them, the women, and 50% of the food production is done by them, but they earn only 10% of salary, and they own only 1% of the property in the world. This is the survey of the world. Today we have two guests, the guest of honor and the chief guest. Both of them are related to VIT. Justice Bhavani Subbarayan is our proud parent. Her daughter studied here. And guest of honor is our old student. So both of them are related to VIT. What is it? As Shankar pointed out, the only thing which can liberate women and take them towards prosperity and growth is education. That is where they should concentrate, and VIT is always encouraging women, girls to go for higher education and also to get good places. In fact, in the total strength of the students, once it was 20%, 15 to 20% of the total strength. Now we have crossed 1/3. Even though in the student strength they are 1/3, the girls, when it comes to getting ranking and awards, they get 2/3. That shows how they are very good in studies. Then a day will come, as Shankar said, we will be requiring reservation for men. Otherwise, they will take over everything. I always tell them, be careful about it, because they study well, they don't waste time, they don't go about. That's the main thing. See, the world has been favoring women, but not to the equal extent. Take, for example, there are 193 countries in the world, members of the United Nations. How many presidents or prime ministers are there among ladies? It is only 28. Both head of the government and head of the state put together, it's only 28. Of course, Asia has a role to play in political empowerment because the first prime minister, lady prime minister of the world, was elected from Sri Lanka in 1960. Srimao Bandaranaike was the first lady prime minister of the world. Then the second was India in 1966, Srimati Indira Gandhi. And the third was Golda Meir in Israel. I had the opportunity to move with two politically powerful women in the country. One is Indira Gandhi. For 10 years, I was in Parliament. She was our Prime Minister. And I had close relationship with her. We brought her twice to our district. The other, Jayalalitha, one of the most powerful ladies politically. I was a minister in her cabinet. But with all this, women have to be liberated because still they are not given equal opportunities. Take, for example, ministerial positions or a place in parliament or assembly, etc. There are about 10 countries only which gives them opportunity for more than 40% or 50% in parliament. But in India, their representation is only 14%. Among the ministerial positions, the least importance is given to them in India, China and Turkey, less than 7%. So that's why we want an act to reserve seats for them. And many countries have done already, reserved seats for women in parliament and assembly. But we took a long time and still it's not implemented. It is strange that a bill was pending in parliament for more than 25 years. In 1996, when Devagowda was the Prime Minister, a bill was introduced in Parliament for reservation of women, 1/3 seats, even though they constitute 48%. It was passed in Rajya Sabha in 2010, but it took another 13 years. Only in 2023, it was passed by both the houses of Parliament, but still it has to be implemented. I am mentioning this to show that it's not easy for women to get their place, right place. Among Fortune 500 companies in the world, only 9 are headed by women. It shows that even Europe, America, everywhere, there is problem for representation. And it can be done only by education. That's why we have started a trust in this district. We want to make this a model. It's called Anaivarukkum Uyarkalvi Arakattalai, Universal Higher Education Trust, where we want to encourage everybody to go for higher education. And so far, we have given 9,400 scholarships, and out of which 2/3 are girls among the beneficiaries. Because in India, we have the largest ignorant population. Among the world's illiterate women, 2/3 of them live in India. Not only that, because of this, the child marriage is dominating in our country. 47% of marriages conducted in this country are minor girls, less than 18. And almost 2/3 of them became mothers while they are in teenage. This shows that we have to go a long way in encouraging women to go for education so that they can stand on their own legs. I always remember Dr. Muthulakshmi Reddy. I think one hostel is named after her. I don't know. You studied about her. See, once girls were not allowed in medical colleges. She was the first girl to enter into medical college after a big fight in 1912. She became a doctor, and she was the first legislator to be elected in 1921 in the Madras Assembly. And she became the vice president of the legislature also. I am mentioning this to tell you that it's not easy to occupy a place. And after becoming a member of the Legislative Assembly, she brought a bill to abolish Devadasi system. I don't know how many of you are aware of this. You should go through it. I'm not going to explain. You go and study what is Devadasi system. But it was not allowed to be passed, even though it was supported by many parties, could not be passed. It was passed only after independence, 1949. Another conference I would like to remember is 1929. There was a conference in Madras. It was arranged by the Self-Respect Movement, Swayamaryada Iyakam. This was the first time when as the resolutions were passed in favor of women. It was conducted by Periyar E.V.R. Ramasamy. And first time he demanded equal rights for women in properties. So that till that time there was no right at all. It was first time he demanded. And in that he went as far as saying that they should get a place in the police and armed forces. That was in 1929. That's the kind of, some people were in favor of liberating women, and it took a long time to get them into police or army. So I would like to inform you that you should go through the history of all these women who have succeeded and how difficult it was for them to come up in life. And it is only hard work which matters, of course, with education, and you can come up. Of course, our old student, Vandana Jain itself is an example for you, how she can come up in life if she studied well and with hard work. And I would like to thank our chief guest, Justice Bhavani Subbarayan, for accepting our invitation. In fact, she has to go to Coimbatore today. In spite of it, I persuaded her to come here to address you and then leave here from Coimbatore. I thank her. And these are two progressive ladies where they had intercaste marriages. Of course, I should not mention it. I thought it would be useful to you because Periyar in those days said that the girls must be allowed to marry whoever they like. That was the demand of Thandai Periyar in 1930s. I think both of them have done that. And I would like to thank the organizers. Even though it's a Women's Day, a man has been allowed to address you. Thank you very much. And I thank both the chief guest and the guest of honor. Thank you.